Hey guys, host of the GU College Context Podcast. My name is Kayla. I'm one of your hosts here today.
My name is Ayevale, and I'm also a host, and we're both admissions counselors here at Greenville University. In today's episode, we will be talking about Greenville University's COVID response. We are currently having students on campus, and we do have saliva testing on campus 5 days a week. And it's completely free of no charge to the students. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about how the university has actually responded to COVID. And we have some really amazing guests. We have Ross Baker, who is the Dean of Students here on campus. And then we also have Kenzie Schwab, who is president of GSGA, our student government. So it's going to be really great to hear their perspectives and how they're going about things. And so stay tuned.
Hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of GU College Context Podcast. My name is Kayla. I'm one of your hosts here, and today we got some great speakers with us. You guys introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, my name is Kenzie. I'm a student here. I'm a senior graduating soon. I'm super excited.
Okay.
Hey, my name's Ross. I'm also a GU grad. I'm the Dean of Students here at Greenville.
My name is Ayevale, and I'm an admissions counselor here as well as a GU grad.
Kind of know that already, but but today we're going to talk a little bit about how COVID has affected our school and how we've been going about it and things along that lines. We really want to give you a little bit of aspect how we're doing things here at GU. Ross, you mind give us a little bit more details what you do here a little bit more?
Sure, yeah. So, COVID has definitely changed what I've been doing here. As the Dean of Students, a large part of my role is just working with students on what it's like to live on campus, on participating in activities and engaging with others in and out of the classroom. And because of COVID, a lot of that's changed this fall. And so a big part of my job is working with students who have questions about COVID, with parents about COVID, following up if we do have positive cases and need to put students into quarantine. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about our testing later on, but we have been blessed with our connection with U of I this academic year and the testing that we have here on campus. And so a large part of my job this year really has been COVID focused and maintaining a safe environment for students so we can be here on campus all year.
Nice. Kenzie, how's it like being a student here with the COVID going on and with classes a little bit?
Yeah, no, that's. I think the key word that Ross said is the word safe. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things we've been trying to do, as students, as a student leader, is like be safe but engaging. So how can we create and be a part of an environment that is safe but also can feel still like the community. We came back to Greenville to get the community. And so how can we make that happen? So like in the classroom, at events, I think we've been trying to do the little things in like sort of teacher interaction and like events that like make it still engaging. So I would say most of the student body would agree that we've done a really good job at creating a safe and engaging environment. And it's been really good to be a part of that. We're 6 feet apart in most classrooms. We have certain events that are 6 feet apart or events that we put on that don't even interact and that have been really fun still too. So.
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, what has been kind of the student body? Because it sounds like everyone's having a positive response. Is that the what you're getting from parents and students and things of that nature?
Absolutely. I think that it took some time with our new protocols in place. Like Kenzie said, making sure we're 6 feet. You see the masks on. The things that we need to do to keep each other safe. I think it took some time to getting used to. We are limiting interactions as much as we can, but like Kenzie said, it's kind of pointless if we bring everybody back and just make sure they stay in the room. We want to have a community, we want to maintain a sense of normalcy as much as we can, and so I think, Kenzie, you tell me. I think after the first couple weeks, we really found a nice rhythm, a nice groove with the events we can offer, the spaces that are open. And students have responded really well. And the parents I have heard from are really appreciative of not only the testing we have, but being able to be here in person all year.
Yeah, I know for sure that's one thing that I talk about whenever we bring students on campus for a visit is that, life is still going on. And as you said, like the worst, so we have 47 of the 50 states represented here and about 30 countries represented in our student body. The worst thing would be for a student to leave their home, come here, and then just be locked in their room for an entire semester. So that is something that I try to tell the prospective students is like, hey, community is very important. Your health and safety is very important. So we're finding ways to kind of improvise around that. And COVID's definitely tested, I think, not just for, Greenville University, but kind of the, I guess, how flexible your institution can be in whatever medium you're in.
Yeah, I feel like when I've talked to other schools, both small privates like we are and even large state schools, we just never experienced something like this. And so, we're learning as we go, we're adapting as we go. I think the student body has been amazing and like you said, being flexible with us. We use a like color system on campus where we actually added one when we came back from Thanksgiving break. So we have ultra red, yellow, and green. And depending on where we're at on campus, how testing is going, how many positives we have, we're able to flex between those different colors, which allows us to be even more normal. So when we're in the ultra red, we're kind of the most restrictive as we bring students back until we know where everybody's at, and then we just progress up to green, which just allows more things to happen, which has been great.
Right. Can you go into a little bit in detail what the difference is? Let's say when you go from ultra red to red, when you go from red to yellow and yellow to green, what are some of the things on campus that change?
Yeah, sure. So, we're in the ultra red. We are pretty restrictive, and we've used that twice now. When we brought people back from Thanksgiving break, we brought people back from winter break, and then we'll do it again this weekend when the rest of our returning students come back from their winter break. And so in ultra red, we are pretty restrictive in the sense of I'm pushing, hey, stay 6 feet, stay 6 feet, stay 6 feet. Make sure you have a mask on at all times. We go to go only in the dining commons. We're hanging out just in lounges in the residence halls. And then we're able to move up to the red. And by moving up, I mean we've tested everyone at least twice. And we've seen that we have very few or no no positives on campus. And so that allows us to be in-person dining, in our dining commons. It allows us to reopen our workout facilities and our gyms. And then when we get to move up to the yellow, it allows students to begin to hang out in each other's rooms in the residence halls like they would in a normal year with our normal visitation hours. It allows the union to reopen. It allows more events to occur on campus. And then if we move up to the green, which is, we know we have no positives anywhere on campus, then we can be almost completely normal, like we were. Still wear masks, still trying to maintain 6 feet from the CDC guidelines, but as close to normal as you would expect, during this pandemic. Yeah.
You just talking something new right there. I didn't even know we had an ultra red. I just thought it was just red, yellow.
I've heard about it.
That's a new one.
I didn't know it was an actual I thought it was just kind of like.
And we did that because I don't have an exact number. I think we were probably one of the few schools who actually brought students back after Thanksgiving. But we also knew, running into Thanksgiving that nationwide cases were growing. And so what we didn't want to have happen is exactly like you said. We bring people back after being home for a week, and we just put everybody in the room because we have a number of positives. So we added this ultra red just to be really clear what the expectations were for our community. And we were able to move into the red by the second week, which then allowed the in-person dining, a little more events, a little more visitation hours, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I really got a question for both of you guys. When COVID first started, do you guys think it would be everlasting this long? It didn't really affect us like it is now. Seriously.
Sure.
Did you actually think it would be like this
long?
long?
I'll let Kenzie go first.
Oh my. When it first started, like you're talking in March?
Yeah, when it first started in March.
Oh no. I mean, I remember I was just sitting on the couch watching the TV. I ran to Home Depot and grabbed a huge box and threw all my stuff into it. I got on a plane. I was like, it's the middle of March. What am I doing home? I don't know. It kind of I think once we got into April, so GSGA did Zoom meetings once a week, over the phone, trying to put together events. And once we kind of got into April and May, a lot of us were like, wow, we're not going on walkabout, we're not doing any of these sort of things. And I think what's really the best and the worst part is we were all going through it together as a whole student body. So like, yes, like GSJ did not know what's going on, but neither did anybody else. And so when we like at the beginning, like, did we think it was gonna last? Like, I would say no. I wouldn't say, but also I didn't believe that we would be back on campus.
Yeah.
And so it's really great to see that adjustment happen, that we could be here and put on events, because we were talking about how do we Zoom in the fall, like kind of this thing. So when, you know, the University of Illinois partnered with us, like that was sort of a breath of fresh air from knowing that it's not, it may go on for a long time, but like at least we're coming back and something will change.
Yeah, I would say the same. I think, if I'm speaking honestly, like May, June, I didn't think we'd be in person. We would continue over Zoom, just like Kenzie was saying. We were making plans for, okay, how do we do, all of our events over Zoom? How do we have any kind of community when we're going to be virtual? And, just like you said, when the announcement came out that we were able to partner with University of Illinois and have twice a week testing for everyone, that's, next day results, it was like the light coming on. I mean, everything changed at that point. And so then it was, okay, we get to bring students back, but how do we do so safely? And so, I remember having friends, and, Kenzie, you're from out west, like having friends that kind of started out there, and, friends at Whitworth and Zoo Specific saying, hey, this is coming. And then, about 2 weeks later, it was, hey, we got to send everybody home. Like, we can't do this safely. And I think that time, from March to July, allowing us the space to plan, to do so safely, to come up with these protocols that we talked about, secure the testing, did allow us to reopen and do so, I think, really successfully.
Yeah. I want to say you guys have done every step what you possibly can do, and you guys have done an amazing job. Just for us to be back here on campus, it's just amazing, period, because now our kids are getting this opportunity just to be in person with their professor. I think a lot of us kind of took that for granted. I think Kenzie probably could speak a little more on that, how having a professor in front of you is a real benefit more than anything.
Yeah, no, I go home, so I'm from Seattle, and I go home and I try to explain to people that I'm on campus. Like they double check with me. They're like, oh, you're in class. I'm like, yes, face to face. And I've had a lot of my surrounding community really at home, it put me in a perspective to say, wow, this is really amazing to be face to face, especially, I mean, there are certain classes you just cannot learn online, and we've seen students struggle in quarantine when they go on for 2 weeks and come back off that transition. I think we've talked about this breath of fresh air. It's like absolutely real. And I am really glad that we get to be face to face, and then like also offer that opportunity when the kids go into quarantine that they still can learn, even though it may be really difficult. The best part I think about face to face is I like eye contact. So like when you're on Zoom, lots of people turn their screens off, and I love that I can make eye contact with my teacher, with the people around me, because I can't smile, so I'm like trying to communicate with my eyes, and then having a teacher make eye contact with me makes the learning like sink in. So I think that's probably the best part about being face to face in the classroom.
Yeah, I know I can sit here thinking of at least 3 students who were fully online in the fall, took all online classes, and rightfully so, either themselves had family members who were high risk, didn't really think exposing themselves, was worth it. And then just seeing how successful we were this fall, have decided to be in person and move on campus for this upcoming spring. One guy's from California, someone here's from Illinois. And so I think exactly like you're saying, just that difference of being in person versus online in the classroom, you can't replicate it. And so I'm really excited to see students back on campus this spring.
I just feel sorry for kids who got to learn math online.
Oh yeah,
that's got to be incredibly hard.
That's the main thing I was thinking about. Math online, no sir.
Wait, can you imagine learning the violin over Zoom? Like all the music classes? I don't know how they did that either. No.
Impossible.
But yeah, so once you guys get, once we got people on campus, because throughout the summer, as admissions counselors, it was a headache because we hadn't even figured out, as a university, whether we're going to be on campus or online. And so we were having a ton of questions from parents, and we just had to be, you know what, we'll keep you updated. But once the student gets on campus, and let's say, like you already talked a little bit about how, the transition from in-person to Zoom when you get COVID, in that time period where you're kind of, quarantining and isolated or whatever, is there what resources do we have that help students with their academics, with their mental health, with those types of things that kind of come up when you do go into quarantine and your norm changes?
Sure. I mean, I haven't done it yet, thankfully. Knock on wood, don't want to be in quarantine. But I would say if there's one area that I've seen students struggle most, like Kenzie said, it is when they are in quarantine. So we have 2 buildings set aside, one for isolation, where we have positive cases, they go in there. Contacts go into another building for quarantine. We do have a resident director who's assigned to both of those buildings that checks in daily with the students, that brings snacks to them, that brings favorite foods, anything that can provide just a little bit of comfort while they're in quarantine. All of our tutoring and academic coaching is virtual, or it can be, and they can sign up for that. And I think our residence life staff, along with GSGA, has done a great job of providing both in-person and virtual engagement opportunities. So just Wednesday night, they did bingo online and gave out prizes all through Zoom. And I know a couple of our quarantine folks, participated in that. So it is hard. It's not, it's not, something I wish for any of our students, but we have to do that to keep the community safe. And I do think we have a really solid, support net for them when they go in, that they don't feel, absolutely alone while they're in there.
Right.
I mean,
I've seen plenty of students drop off food. Yeah. GSGA has done it. We've done McDonald's runs. We've dropped off pizza. We leave snacks and candy because it's really tough when you're having an event on Scott Field and you can see it from Holtwick and they're looking with puppy eyes. They're we had a volleyball tournament. They corral at their windows and on that. And so it's been really good. We try to make sure that students, if they win a prize virtually, if they want a meal, we have tried to make ourselves available as much as we can because our quarantine directors can't handle it all, and they're also some of them aren't students. We're students. We're trying to help and keep them engaged. So we've delivered food. And we're also thinking of new ways that we can engage them in the spring because it's going to be a long 16 weeks, especially with a divided spring break. So honestly, I'm hoping that students will start to give more feedback. That ways we can engage them. We've done giveaways on Instagram, which engage all students, even if you're online even. So that's good too, because we have students who are online all the time. Right. So I'm really excited for the spring to see, now that we've kind of gone through this first semester, to adjust for the next 4 or 5 months.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think your word adjust is perfect. I for us, like you said, in the summer, we were still, okay, what are we going to do? Made the decision to be in person, and we're just learning as we go. Yeah. We've never faced something like this, and so I am excited that we have a semester under our belt. I think we've learned a lot. I think we've gotten a lot of student feedback on how we can be better, and so I think we will be, tremendously more prepared and better serving for our students this upcoming spring.
I think COVID has forced us to be a little bit more creative than we ever had to be. Yeah. I think it's COVID has helped us kind of grow in a different sense of just being appreciative of things that we didn't take appreciative of before. Yeah. Now just going to the grocery store or anything like that, you just really realize I need certain things what I should need, or just doing things on that line. I know in the morning now it's a different routine for me just because I got to make sure I grab my mask every day. Yep. I never thought about grabbing a mask at first when you first started doing it. Okay. Yeah. But now you think about it do I have one in my car? I have one in my book bag.
You got to have more than one mask at all places, emergency masks. Thank you guys so much for coming on this podcast and talking about COVID and how the university is handling it. And I want to say thank you, not just to you as a member of faculty and staff, but also student leaders all over campus kind of try to help improvise. Right, we're all just kind of figuring it out as we go, as you guys had mentioned. But thank you guys so much for what you're doing for the university, for the students, as well as parents who are watching this podcast, kind of alleviate some of the anxiety that comes with COVID.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
If you want to check us out, you can find us at greenville.edu/college-context.